It's tick season in East Tennessee. Ticks can be found nearly everywhere and they can carry harmful germs that can make you sick. If you see a tick on your child, don't panic, says the good doctor. Joining us now with more is Dr. Ryan Redmond, ER Director at Children's Hospital. It's good to see you.
Thank you.
All right, so it's time for ticks. What kind of tick-borne diseases do we see in our area?
So in our area, the one that we usually worry about, especially as emergency physicians, is Rocky Mountain spotted fever. It's still relatively rare, but can be very significant. So it is the kind of thing you have to kind of be on the lookout for, especially during this season. There's not very much Lyme disease in this area. That's probably more predominant in the Midwest and the Northeast, but there is a little bit around here, so we do also want to know the signs and symptoms of that.
And parents still worry about it because we hear about it all over the place.
Correct.
So let's talk about the signs and symptoms of one of those tick-borne illnesses.
So the first thing that you need is a tick exposure. So
Sure.
you know, typically what you'll see is at the site of exposure with something like Lyme disease is a rash that spreads out from there. So obviously if you see anything like that, it's important to see your physician and talk to them about that. Rocky Mountain spotted fever is usually a little bit more of a dramatic presentation. It usually comes a little bit after the tick bite. Tick usually has to be on for about 24 hours or so, so this isn't something that typically you see with just a tick crawling on you or something along those lines. It usually has to be in and kind of engorged. And then from there you'll get fever, headache, fatigue, a lot of flu-like symptoms, followed by a pretty characteristic rash.
What does that rash look like?
So that rash is very kind of pinpoint red rash that kind of usually starts around the wrists and ankles and kind of spreads from there. So so if you see that type of rash or have any of those symptoms, especially with a known tick exposure, it's important to bring that up and talk with your doctor about that.
As quickly as you can. Now, I know growing up and then my kids were little, there are some old wives' tales about proper tick removal. Tell us what we really need to do.
So what you really need to know is it's very simple and straightforward. Tweezers as low to the skin as you can and pull straight out. So don't twist. That kind of leaves a chance for the tick head to kind of get buried in there. So you want to try and get as low as possible and just pull straight up. You don't want to put anything on there, so no, you know, kerosene, hot matches, you know,
clear nail polish,
petroleum jelly, any of that kind of stuff, because again, that'll oftentimes make the tick kind of burrow deeper.
Instead of smothering the tick, which we thought was the right thing to do, but no, you want it out of there.
Correct, and some of those things can actually increase the amount of saliva that the tick is excreting, and that's where the bacteria exists, so it actually can theoretically increase your risk.
All right, thank you so much.
Of course.
We really appreciate it. Everybody stay safe out there.